Hi, welcome back. We're going to do the month of May. Everything's starting to spring up now, and a few new projects I've started. I'm going to set a trend, I think. I do love Osteospermum, and there are so many beautiful new colours and varieties, and so I've made a bed in the corner here where it's quite dry, and Osteospermum will withstand it being fairly dry. There's at least 3 different colours here, probably 4 or 5. You can see this one, which is just starting to come out, has got this reddish with these white flecks on it. Well, it's purple. Then there's a nice white, there's a light purple, there will be a dark purple as well. So I've mass planted this bed, and I'm hoping that all the different colours will just look quite spectacular. It should fill out and virtually take up the whole of the bed. So that's something new I wanted to try this year. Normally I just put the odd one dotted about, but I want to try this year. They say patience is a virtue, and for the first time in a long time, the Wisteria has been absolutely magnificent. You can probably see. Normally the frost catches them. This is the second time I've grown wisteria. The first time I gave up, I went over 5 years and never got a bloom that lasted. It was always caught by the frost. But this has done superb this year. And a lot of the shrubs are now starting to fill out. So pleasing when you can see things that you've grown from a cutting just taking off. I've put out this conifer, which belongs to the monkey puzzle family, Oricaria. It's not hardy, so I've left it in the pot, and I've just put it in the bed to fill in, so we don't have to look at the panel behind it. I love the architecture of this, the way it splays out and everything. I had to keep it in the greenhouse over the winter, but it survived over the winter, which is lovely. Most of the summer bedding's gone out now, so the beds will be picking up soon. All the roses are starting to bud, and they'll be out in flower in a few weeks. So that's quite something. The scent on this wisteria is just heavenly, especially in the evening. But during the day, the scent just wafts across. Absolutely superb. Well worth, even if you get 1 in 5, it's worth it. Might not think so during the other 4 years, but it's definitely worth it. I want to show you a few things that we're going to grow some pruning in the greenhouse at the moment. So for the moment, we'll head up to the greenhouse, and I'll show you some of the things. One plant I'm really pleased with is this Torino Cherry. I think I've shown it you before, but this year there's twice as much flower on it. You can see it better from this side with the sun on it, but the dark foliage and then the purple, and then you'll get the berries from the flowers later. And if we don't get a late frost, it should berry really well this year. It won an award of merit at the Chelsea Flower Show. It's a wonderful thing. Difficult sometimes to get hold of, but it's worth Prunus Torino. There is another part to the name which I've said in the past, but I can't remember it at the moment. So that's just pointing that out. Everything's shooting up. Keep an eye out for still keep an eye out for the lily beetle. I have sprayed these, which tends to stop them from coming on there. So it's a good time to spray them, especially if you haven't seen any, and that'll stop the young larvae from eating the leaves. You get all the holes. It's not the adults that cause the problem. The adults lay their eggs or their larvae on the leaves, and they work their way up and totally strip all of your lilies. A few jobs in the greenhouse I want to show you. Again, this I'm really pleased with. This Pyrrhus is looking lovely, and I got that for about £3 from the garden centre because nobody had watered it and it had drooped, and but with a little bit of love and tender care, it's coming through. It's beautiful at the moment, and without the fear of the frost, we're not going to lose the tops on it. So little things like that, if you fleece them early in the spring, especially if they come up early, you can save them and stop them. These are last year's Antivirums. They're doing really well. They've only grown really as an annual Antivirums, but those are coming up superb. Put my dahlias out, which I started off over there. Well, let's go in the greenhouse. I want to show you a few things and how to take a few houseplant cuttings. Another thing is I sold something in the garden, and with the money I bought some new plants, and I've grown these. This is fascinating. They came in a tray of 9 plants. Might even have the tray here somewhere, but there was 9 plants in a little tray, and in each little tray there was 3 or 4 of these cosmos growing together. So I managed to tease them apart, and I've potted them up singly, and they'll make a great, and I've quadrupled the number of plants. I couldn't believe they'd sown so many seeds and left them not divided them up into individuals. So the others I've put out already, and these are the ones that I divided only last week, so it's only a week ago. Well, even less than that, I think it was about 3 or 4 days ago. So that was that. What I want to show you at the moment, it's always a good time to take houseplant cuttings. Tradescantias you can always take because they're always fleshy and easy to take. You've got this one here, which I love, this Tradescantia. I'm going to take a cutting of that soon. You don't want the flower on the top, so you would cut that off just below down to the next bud, and then take this off down here, and then take the bottom leaves off, and that would take quite easily. Some plants that are so easy to grow and are cheap, it's not about how much the plant costs, it's about the joy of growing your own plants, and these make great presents for people. So what you want to do with St. Paulia, you've got all the different varieties, is cut it off right down near the base like that, stick it in a little dish or whatever, fill it with water, which I'll just show you. Make sure, the only thing you have to do is make sure that the water doesn't dry out. Stick that on a windowsill somewhere in the shade. I won't leave it in the greenhouse, and then within a month to 5 weeks it'll root, and then that is it. You can see the new shoots coming. It had plenty of roots on it. You can grow them. I tried one in the propagator. I put 3 leaves in here, but they didn't like it. It was too hot. This was about 4 or 5 weeks, no, 6 weeks ago. This hasn't produced any shoots yet, but it's still alive, just, and it will eventually do the same things. But this way of doing it is so easy. You can use a teacup, you can use anything. I just happen to have these. Somebody gave me them for a present. So out of that, you could take all these outer leaves out, and then the new ones will grow out, and make all these new plants and give them to your friends as little presents and stuff. And it just shows them that you care, spending that amount of time just to make something. And it's not the price, because they're only about £3.50 to buy an adult plant, but it's just the fun of growing them. Something I really do love is this particular plant. It's a lantana. You find it all around the continent, especially places like France and Spain, Italy. This is it here, different variety. Has these lovely little flowers. You can get all the different colours, yellow, white, well, a whitey creamy yellow. They grow like weeds abroad. People don't think much of them because they just grow so much, and they'll form a biggish shrub abroad. So they'll get to maybe 2-3 feet, and I just love them. They won't survive the winter, so you really have to keep them somewhere where the frost isn't. They don't keep very easily. I did have one from last year, but it got really bad, and in the end I think I have thrown it out. The last lot of frosts that we got that were -4 plus, because there was no heating in the greenhouse, only the fleece, they didn't do, it didn't survive. The same with some of these osteospermum. They really got hammered, but they're coming back. Lots of cuttings I've taken of these osteospermum I've still got, and some of the salvias which were a little bit, this is the red one, sorry, this is the blue one, no it's not, it is the red one. That's the red one, and it's not hardy. The frost got them outdoors, so I always take cuttings every year of the red one, and they take reasonably well. Struggled with the cold again, even in the greenhouse as it was, but they do very well. Things like Chlorophytum, spider plant, these are so easy to grow. You just take off some of the tendrils that are cascading down the flowers, and you'll see the roots coming on them before you even do anything. You just need to pot them up. They look lovely in the house, especially on the stairs. There's a window high on the stairs, and they just all droop down. The biggest problem with these sort of things is if you're using tap water, all the leaves at the end will go brown, which makes them look a bit ugly. But if you can use rainwater from your water butts or whatever, it's always best to use that rainwater on all your house plants if you can. Everything else, something else that I've just done last week, just a week ago, is these aeolium. I've potted up. I'm going to sell them at the church in another 3 or 4 weeks time. We saw these on holiday, and a plant that size was selling for about £13. I don't know why they're so expensive, because I got, I think it was about 8 cuttings altogether off the plant down in the succulent bed that I've done in the tub, and they took so quickly and easily. And even now already you can see there's new shoots coming in the axils round the side there, and that will form several round near the top, and soon that'll be a huge plant. And once they get to the size that they are down in the tub that I've got, you're talking of £40–50 for a plant that size, and it'll only take 2 or 3 years to grow that size. And already all the ones that I've taken off the plant down the bottom, you can't see where they were taken off, because there's all new ones that have just all sprouted round the outside. So I've kept this lantana inside because I want it to grow for at least another month in here, because the warmth in the greenhouse will really help it to shoot up. If I put it out and we get 1 or 2 cold nights, it will check it. And the last thing you want to do with sort of semi-tropical plants, plants that won't grow in this country very easily, is to make sure they don't get checked. So this has already put on about 3 inches of growth since I bought it. I only bought it just over a week ago, and that one's absolutely shot up. The other one, little one, is just taken off in the last couple of days because it was indoors and it didn't like the indoor heat. But it's really starting to grow now. I've potted it on. The other thing that I wanted to tell you about, practical things, is when you're potting on, I think I've told you before, don't be tempted to go too big. Do small increments in sizes as you go up. I've just done this oleander, which was a cutting I took because I'm not sure how long the big one that I've got will last. So I took a cutting of this one and I've just potted it on now, and it came out of a pot that was just about an inch and a half smaller. So this one is about that size at the moment, is the old pot. So I've just potted it on about that much. And also what I've done is I've taken out the little tips, the growing tips on these, so that I'm encouraging it to sprout further down and hopefully even down the bottom here, so we get a much bushier plant. So that again I'll leave in the greenhouse because it'll like the warmer temperature, and then come the end of May these will all go outside because they'll do well outside. There's lots more I could tell you about, but all of these echiverias I've grown from little plantlets that have come off the edge of the big ones. I think I've shown you before. They start coming from the axils underneath, and you'll get these ones. And you just break them off and pot them up, and they take ever so easily. So and they're expensive to buy in the garden centres as they get bigger. They're quite an expensive thing to buy. So it's always a good thing to keep propagating stuff. I can show you how they grow outside. They're generally not hardy, but this one's been left out. This is the old plant. You can see how it's been caught by the frost, but these are all the new little ones coming off it. I haven't bothered to take them off, but if I was to take these off and cut them just a few inches long and then dibber them into a pot, they would these are exactly the same as the ones you've just seen in the greenhouse. It's just that they're suffering a little bit because they've been out in the cold weather and they don't like it. But they would come round if I wanted to, but I've got hundreds of them, so I'm not going to bother. In fact, I might even take that out because it might recover in the summer, but I might find something else to put in there to replace it. I think that's all I want to say for the moment, and we'll come back to you again in a month or so when we're doing some other projects. Okay, take care for now. Bye.